Is the message being sent by the courtrooms that if you get arrested, you're back on the streets of the city in New York?
Not the end. We will continue to work to identify all those responsible.
And I did check in with police this morning. They tell me they are still questioning the people that were taken in custody.
And the cops jump and catch him and arrest him. And I saw the other guy coming.
And the role of the federal government, if a person is found guilty of a crime, is to deport.
Police arrested 3 teenagers in that case. 2 other suspects are being sought.
Times Square knifing incident. The incident involving a 17-year-old boy being knifed in New York City Times Square amidst a brawl reportedly involving migrants underscores the complex challenges faced by law enforcement and local communities in addressing violence and crime in urban areas. The altercation, which resulted in the teen sustaining a knife wound to the lower back, highlights the urgent need for effective intervention and prevention strategies. Following the incident, the New York Police Department responded promptly, and the victim was transported to Bellevue Hospital in stable condition. The person of interest was taken into police custody, although details regarding the dispute leading to the knifing remain unclear. Witnesses describe scenes of chaos and bloodshed, underscoring the gravity of the situation. The involvement of migrants in the altercation adds another layer of complexity to the incident. While specific details about the individuals involved and their motivations are still emerging, reports indicate that a 22-year-old man was arrested, along with 6 others, including 3 migrant teens. The presence of multiple suspects underscores the need for a thorough investigation to hold accountable all those responsible for the violence. This incident is not an isolated one, as Times Square has witnessed several violent crimes in recent weeks involving migrants. Instances of attacks on NYPD officers, moped robberies, and pickpocketing allegedly involving migrants have raised concerns about public safety and law enforcement's ability to effectively address these challenges. In one particularly alarming case, a 15-year-old Venezuelan migrant allegedly opened fire inside a sports clothing store after being confronted by a security guard for stealing.
Is the message being sent by the courtrooms that if you get arrested, you're back on the streets of the city in New York?
Police arrested 3 teenagers in that case. 2 other suspects are being sought.
Busy night for police here in Times Square. Not 1, but 2 violent incidents that they responded to.
And the role of the federal government, if a person is found guilty of a crime, is to deport.
The incident resulted in a tourist being shot but surviving, and the perpetrator subsequently engaging in a dangerous pursuit with law enforcement officers. The apprehension of the suspect in a neighboring suburb highlights the interconnected nature of crime across urban areas. The involvement of migrants in criminal activities underscores the importance of comprehensive approaches to address underlying factors contributing to such behavior. Economic hardship, social marginalization, and lack of access to support services are among the complex issues that need to be addressed to prevent individuals from resorting to violence and crime. Furthermore, the decision by Mayor Eric Adams to allocate significant funds for prepaid credit cards for illegal migrants has sparked controversy and raised questions about resource allocation priorities. While supporting vulnerable populations is essential, ensuring accountability and transparency in the use of public funds is equally important to address the concerns of residents grappling with financial challenges. The incident in Times Square serves as a sobering reminder of the persistent challenges faced by urban communities in addressing violence and crime. Effective law enforcement efforts, coupled with comprehensive social interventions and community engagement, are essential to create safer environments and address the root causes of criminal behavior. As investigations into the incident continue, it is imperative to prioritize public safety and uphold the principles of justice and accountability for all individuals involved. Times Square Violence Analysis. The recent spate of violent incidents in New York City's Times Square has sparked widespread concern and raised important questions about public safety, law enforcement, and immigration policies. The incidents, which involved large groups of individuals, including teenagers and migrants, highlight the complexities and challenges facing urban areas in addressing crime and maintaining order. Times Square, a bustling commercial and tourist hub, has long been a symbol of New York City's vibrancy and diversity. However, the recent spate of violent incidents has cast a shadow over the iconic neighborhood, raising concerns about safety and security. The presence of surveillance cameras and police stations in the area offers some reassurance, but it is clear that more needs to be done to address the root causes of crime and violence. Critics have pointed to New York City's sanctuary status and lenient bail policies as contributing factors to the escalating violence. The release of repeat offenders without bail, even after committing serious crimes, has undermined public trust in the justice system and emboldened criminals to reoffend. The incident have reignited debates about the balance between public safety and individual rights, particularly in the context of immigration enforcement. Moreover, the involvement of migrants in the attacks has raised questions about the effectiveness of current immigration policies and enforcement measures. While many migrants come to New York City seeking refuge from violence and persecution in their home countries, a small minority may engage in criminal activity, posing challenges for law enforcement agencies and policymakers. The incidents in Times Square have also highlighted broader issues related to gang activity and organized crime in urban areas. Gang-related violence has been on the rise in many cities across the United States, fueled by factors such as poverty, unemployment, and social exclusion.
Both just a block away from one another, and police say multiple people are in custody.
Have multiple migrant shelters, and police telling us there was some kind of argument before these two attacks happened.
Not the end. We will continue to work to identify all those responsible.
I saw someone running and there's other cops coming after follow him.
Addressing these underlying issues requires a comprehensive approach that goes beyond traditional law enforcement measures to include community-based initiatives, youth outreach programs, and economic development strategies. Moving forward, city leaders and law enforcement agencies must work together to develop proactive strategies to prevent and address violent crime in Times Square and other high-risk areas. This includes increasing police presence, improving surveillance capabilities, and implementing targeted interventions to disrupt criminal networks and prevent gang-related violence. At the same time, policymakers must address the underlying social and economic factors that contribute to crime, including poverty, inequality, and lack of access to education and economic opportunities. Investing in community development initiatives, youth empowerment programs, and social services can help address these root causes and create safer, more resilient communities. Ultimately, addressing the complex challenges facing Times Square and other urban areas requires a coordinated and multifaceted approach that involves collaboration between government agencies, law enforcement officials, and community organizations and residents. By working together, we can create a safer and more inclusive city for all residents and visitors. Impact on public safety. New York City's sanctuary policies designed to protect immigrants from federal immigration enforcement have come under scrutiny following a series of violent incidents involving individuals released under these policies. The recent knifing incident in Times Square, involving large groups of individuals, many of whom were teenagers and migrants, have raised questions about the effectiveness of these policies in ensuring public safety. The sanctuary policies, rooted in executive orders dating back to 1989, restrict city officials from sharing immigration information with federal authorities unless related to a criminal matter. Subsequent laws signed under Mayor de Blasio's administration further limited cooperation between the NYPD and federal immigration agencies, including the removal of ICE officials from the city jails and restrictions on honoring detainer requests. Critics argue that these policies create a get-out-of-jail-free environment, allowing individuals with criminal records, including gang members and repeat offenders, to evade federal immigration enforcement and continue engaging in criminal activities. Despite arrests for offenses such as attack and shoplifting, some individuals were released without bail, only to be rearrested later for further offenses.
And I did check in with police this morning. They tell me they are still questioning the people that were taken in custody.
Is a step in the right direction, but more need to be taken to keep the streets of New York City safe.
Think they're going to commit a crime in this city? That's not acceptable. And that is what we're seeing.
And the cops jump and catch him and arrest him. And I saw the other guy coming.
Moreover, the strain on city resources, particularly within the shelter system, has exacerbated tensions between immigrant rights advocates and those calling for stricter enforcement measures. The city's right to shelter policy, coupled with budget constraints, has led to debates over funding allocations and service reductions, with critics arguing that public safety should not be compromised in the name of humanitarian aid. In response to mounting criticism, Mayor Eric Adams has vowed to address the city's sanctuary policies while maintaining a commitment to immigrant rights. Efforts to renegotiate contracts and streamline operations aim to alleviate financial burdens while ensuring essential services are not compromised. However, the underlying issue of unchecked immigration and its impact on public safety remains a contentious issue. Calls for increased border security and stricter immigration enforcement underscored the need for a comprehensive approach to immigration policy that balances humanitarian concerns with public safety imperatives. Moving forward, New York City must navigate the complexities of immigration law while safeguarding the welfare of its residents. By reassessing sanctuary policies and implementing targeted reforms, the city can strive to create a safer and more inclusive environment for all its inhabitants, irrespective of immigration status. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.